welcome back. I had every intention of making a lot of videos along the way, but of course time got away from me. So this is a bit of a collection of our journey from, I guess, weeks 2 to 4 from St Jean de Lon up to Gent in Belgium. As you can see, we had to go a little bit of a roundabout way because of some restrictions on canals that we couldn't access. But it was a beautiful journey, and I hope you enjoy the footage. I'll add a little bit of commentary as we go. There we go. The bridge is almost fully up. We'll be able to get through now. It's been a wet and wild day, but finally the sun has lifted and it's streaming now through the trees. It's a beautiful place to be. It's really beautiful here on this Champagne Canal. So this is the first of the big adventures, the Balasme tunnel on the Borgougne canal, or Champagne Canal. It's 4.8 kilometers long. It takes around about an hour to get through, and surprisingly more boring than you'd think. Always a bit novel when we get an aqueduct, something magical about going over a canal. Over, I guess, well, I don't know if there's water down here, but over water in water. Yep, look at that. We're going over water in water. So just for fun, we have a swing bridge in front of the lock. So we have to wait for the bridge to come up. Well, we actually had to wait for the lock gates to close, the lock to fill. Once the lock was filled, the lock gates opened, and then this thing started to swing up so that we can get in. They don't like making it easy. In this case, the lock lost power, so we had to wait for the lockmaster to come and manually open it. Okay, so we are about to come into a lock. Ella said it was interesting watching steering. There's a lot more than you might think, especially as we come in. We've just passed a little sailboat on the port side, on starboard side there. We've got about a boat length to go. So at the moment the lock is ahead and Claire is spinning sideways, so I have to bring the stern around, which basically means steering the opposite direction than you'd think and then giving it a bit of a kick. That'll bring her back around, and I think maybe a touch more. Yeah, pretty close. Now we've got to come back a touch to port and do the other way. I'm basically trying to steer the nose in, and now that the nose is very close, yeah, come on. Okay, so the nose is close. That's the nose in. Alright, I don't think we've touched the gates. Now, that's the first 5 metres of the boat into the lock. We've got another 20 metres behind us, so now we have to steer the stern. And the bow's going to touch side to side a little bit. Okay, so we're drifting to port here, so I'm going to kick her a bit to starboard. There we go. And that was beautiful. These locks have, for us, 5.15, I think, wide, or 5.20. Anyway, we've basically got about 15 centimetres each side. So more room than the big commercials, but still not a lot. The big commercials have about 7.5 centimetres each side. And we are in the lock, and then now we just drift up until we're past the gates. Once we're clear of the gates, we've got to reverse, slow down. So we don't hit the gates at the front. And there we are. And that's it, we're in the lock. As we got more adventurous and more experienced, we took some time to break out the drone and show some footage of Clair de Lune underway. I think this gives a good sense of just how long she is at 27 metres. It's Karina there on the helm. But, we found that as time went on, really she's quite easy to pilot. It's surprising, actually, just how simple it is to move such a big boat up and down the canals. Lots of weed on this canal. Another fascinating part of the journey was the Rooker Bell tunnel. It's the longest on the network at over 5 kilometres long, and you are pulled through by these electric tugs which are operated on chains. Very, very noisy, as you'll see. The Rooker Bell tunnel was also part of the Hindenburg line in World War I, so it's a fascinating piece of history. Really interesting part of the journey. Well, here we are. Tow rope is picking up. This guy is electrically controlled with the tram lines running above, and it's hard to see, but he's pulling a massive chain underneath the boat. He's winding his way along that chain, and we're getting dragged through. It's pulling us into the side. We're going to bump here, and then behind us, this other boat is tied on. As we proceeded north, we started to get on the larger canals and consequently larger boats and a lot more commercial traffic. But added just another dimension to make the journey quite interesting. I think this guy's carrying or unloading scrap metal. Yep, unloading scrap metal. And just like that, we were in Belgium. It was a journey of 856 kilometres, 286 locks, 18 tunnels, several lift bridges, and underway for about 204 hours. But yeah, we were pleased to make it, and the boat did really well. So where to from here? Well, we've made it to Belgium and to the shipyard, and now the big work of remodeling Clair de Lune is underway. So there's a lot to share and a lot to catch up on. I hope you'll join us as we start to share some of that process with you over the next few weeks. Thanks very much.